Here we go. Mics are hot.
So fun.
The mics are hot.
That's so fun. It's so much more fun to say it that way.
Welcome to Mornings with Matt, personal and professional development training that connects the art of acting with critical life skills and self-mastery. Presented by the Deering Acting Studio.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Mornings with Matt. I'm going to start off with just an onslaught of compliments for Joey Sweeney. That's how we're going to begin the show. And the show this morning is about, does your team have your back? I can tell you right now, our team, are we live?
Yeah.
Has my back. My team 100% is just like dog piles on my back to help me whenever I'm down. And so here's the beginning of these compliments, Joey. Like many things, Joey sometimes starts trends that honestly I don't even hear it, and then it becomes a thing. So like when, for instance, he did the intro for this show. Mm-hmm. He did it in like one take or something, and then he had the music, and he did it very quickly. And there's something in me that automatically is like, you did it so quick. There's probably a better way, you know. And I don't know. So I just remember going like, oh, I like the song. I don't know if I love the song. Like, it's okay. And now, like, I hear it in the morning. I'm like, ba-ba, ba-ba.
Bet.
Like, it's super great. And then he ends the show with like, have a Deering day. And I'm like, now I
love it.
I love it.
We fought him on that so hard.
Because I thought it was
like,
so nerdy at
Deering
first.
day.
I know.
Like, what?
And I told him this. I was like, I think it's my own insecurities of thinking like, you're saying Deering day, like, you know.
It's my day.
Yeah.
I own this day.
But it's so nice and like lovely and everything. So yeah, super cool.
I'm pretty sure it's only cute though when Joey says it is the thing.
Have a Deering day.
Have a Deering day.
You ended the birthday show with it.
Yep.
Yeah, Joey still can't let that one go.
Well, he did not want anyone to say it but him.
I didn't know
Nobody's
that.
allowed.
I didn't know that, but I realized the reason why is because I dogged on it for
Right.
like, forever.
That makes sense.
100% I get that.
But since then, I've had a change in heart, so you can say it whenever you want.
Yeah, he had a
You know
change
what?
of heart because I sat him down
Thank
and I was
you.
like, Joey, you got to understand. If somebody moves over to your thing,
It's a compliment.
You win, bro.
Yeah.
Like, don't fight it. Like
Yeah.
you just get to go, yeah, remember that thing you dogged? Now you're saying it.
Exactly.
Saying
It's
it.
like all of my abbreviations that my whole team says now, including you.
So
Brian,
Thursday,
that
I'm
took
very
me a while to get there, but you got me there. You got me
the abbreves?
Yeah.
Why did you fight? Like, what was your point?
I don't know. I just
You get
like,
this way. You know what happens with Brian?
Here we go.
He hears
tense.
something. Brian, did he tense? He was like, "Oh no, what's he gonna say?"
Here we go. Here we go. Well, here's the thing with Brian. All right, let's
Put
go.
up the bulletproof shield.
My butt's tensing up. No, so and you know this to be true. This isn't gonna be a weird thing, even though you're right.
I mean,
He's
it could
so
be.
tense. Oh my god.
Where's
It has
this?
the tense hands.
At least usually, like I have an idea of where it's going. All it was, well, here's the deal, Brian.
No,
Like,
come on. I mean, think about it. When it comes to things like this, you already know the answer. So here's what he does or did do. He responds really quickly to something.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
So-
I feel good about that sound effect.
That was great. That was great.
I
know.
just figured out it
was
is
good.
mono. It's only one ear. That's why. Yeah.
Maybe just switch
Just
ears
yeah,
to
just
your
like,
working
It's okay.
ear.
It's the good ear. It's the good ear.
Oh.
So we're good.
So you'll respond really quickly. So the idea of like, let's say Shay does an abbreviation for the first, and you heard it for the first time, and your initial knee-jerk reaction, like mine might have been to have a Deering day, might have been negative. So then you're like, oh, like why do you say that? Like that goes in your head, and then Shay would like respond back with like, oh, this and this, but then your deal is like you're gonna hold on to your point of view till the ends of the earth, whether
of
or not
time.
you're
Yeah.
wrong.
End of time.
And that-
It's a Sweeney thing.
Yeah,
So,
Let
so
me go.
even though you knew like probably 6 months ago that abbreviations were cool, you're like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold on to my point of view.
I will say that is like one of the things that I've seen Brian just like stand so strong on, because it is like a little bit of a pattern thing, and like I said, it's a Sweeney thing. I do it too, where you just kind of argue to the ends of the earth for fun. But yeah, that one stuck for sure.
Yeah, I eventually got on board. The thing I didn't like about it, thinking about it, and then I was just like, what are you doing? Like, I listened to, now that I'm remembering, a Gary Vee deal, and he was talking about like phones and texting, right? And like get over like the times are changing. The thing I didn't like is if I felt like everything's gotten so much shorter. Everything in life has gotten so much like let me talk to you as little as possible. But then when you flip it, it's like, if I can like say less and like you still get what I'm saying and I can move on, that's a good thing? Because like,
and also just it was a game.
Yeah,
like it was just like it was just me being fun, saying like something shorter, and that's I think sometimes what we miss.
Yeah.
Is like, hey, and this is what Joey and I talked about this morning. Actually, was that to realize when it's a game and just play the game. Yeah. Instead of going and making it about you or something bigger than it needs to be. Mm-hmm. Shay just liked it, instead of saying abbreviation, saying abbrev. Yeah. And because it was cute and funny and it's like trendy and it's like, that's cool. Like, why not? It's not some like deeper societal. Like,
right. Yeah.
I have to be completely honest, coming from the person that is the one that influenced all of that. That's always been who I am. And I've always talked that way. And which is funny, and I got made fun of
but
for
hold
it.
on. What do you mean always?
Always, I've always used abbreviations.
Can't be always.
For a long time,
okay,
since I can remember, because I got not made fun of, but friends of mine would. It was a thing that I would do, like in middle school, and it never bothered me that people thought it was funny or thought it was weird or whatever. But with Brian, like, it's funny that he's talking about these things or like the way that he maybe felt about it, because I never thought it was that deep. And I continued to do it, not because it bothered him, but because I knew deep down he thought it was cute and loved me for it.
Yeah.
And what's fun is like to watch you guys use them is funny to me, because it becomes, I've seen people use certain things that I'll say, and it just becomes our own little language and our own little family thing that we do, and that's fun to me. And somebody said to my sister, she was watching some show of ours, and she said, Matt says that thing that you say about the 100p.
100p.
He said Matt said that, and I said, I know, that's because of me. And she goes, that's so crazy. And it's just funny because to me, it's part of what makes me, it's a little facet of me that makes me unique from other people. And it's fun to me when other people catch on to that, because it just makes life more fun, in my opinion. It makes conversations more fun.
So you heard it here first. Shay Topol invented the abbreviation. It didn't exist before. She invented hashtags.
100p.
Oh, I invented
She invented LOLs. What did I do?
Cease and desist. Cease and desist. I promise I didn't. I promise I
What's
didn't.
LOL?
Laugh out loud?
Yeah. I didn't invent that.
Oh boy, I thought I
did
said
not
something like
invent
bad.
hashtag. No, I'm just saying.
The way you reacted, I was like,
No.
"Is that something I don't know?" Because I thought it was
No.
laughing out loud.
Yeah, so just
Okay, if that's some
out
kind
loud,
of thing I
right?
don't understand what it is, I apologize.
I'm
Because
just saying, some dude is gonna come after me and he's gonna be like, "You did not invent LOL."
But you understand, I thought it was like a dirty word.
Yes.
Because I said you invented LOL. And you go, "No, I didn't. I didn't do that. Like it wasn't me."
I'll just take it.
I keep getting really paranoid and looking at the iPad, making sure we're actually going.
Are we going?
We are going.
How's the
going.
sound? Does it sound good?
It sounds great.
Good.
Sounds
I'm
good.
only
great.
getting sound in one ear.
Well, that's because you
Brian,
only
that
have
sounds like
one
a
ear.
personal problem.
So Joey's paranoid. We went up late today. Not that many people know, because we're up before everybody else in the world. But
hey, there are 3 people on there.
there we go. Well, hopefully the 3 people were not waiting, but if you were, we apologize. We were about 15 minutes late or so, something like that.
Yeah.
It should have been like 5, but we had to fight for a minute.
We did. We had to fight, and it was interesting because what Joey did is he hit the preview button instead of the live button. That's easy to do. All the tech is on Joey. All of it is on
there's
Joey. There's a lot to do, of course. Yeah. But what's interesting is something came up before the show. We like to move our bodies and kind of get ourselves in a particular state, and we're doing that. And Brian says, "Let's do this. So no yawning."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Joey's the only one that's yawned on the show in the mornings, so it's a direct dig on Joey.
Yeah.
So then I start
feelings.
playing game. which I do. I'm trained to do. I'm fast at it. And so I'm like, yeah, Shay, you'll flick Joey in the ear.
Yeah.
You know, if he yawned. Game.
Yeah.
Game.
Game.
Doesn't hurt. Just being funny.
Right.
And Joey's like, no, we're not doing that. And I was like, whoa, yes, we are going to do that. You know,
Yeah.
If Shay doesn't do it, then I'll do it. And Joey's like, no. And so I'm like, okay, so
Why
that
does
gets...
Joey sound like the Sith?
Because he is the Sith when he gets mad. And so I'm scared of the Sith. So I be quiet. So then I'm high-fiving everyone except Joey because he doesn't come over to high-five me. He sits down and there's weird energy.
Lots of weird
And then
energy.
we accidentally don't go live. So what happened was, it's from the weird energy. That's the thing. Like, it's from there that mistakes happen or this or that happens. So once we figured out we weren't live, here's what I did. I'm like, Joey, let's go. Because I'm like, we got to fight this thing out really quick. We got to get rid of the energy. And ideally, we want to make it so that doesn't happen again, you know? So he's like, I felt made fun of, and I go, cool. I got to get better at that thing and know the difference between game and making fun of somebody, and I'm very sorry. And so we got to the other side of it, and we came in here. And you guys know this because we sat down, and I said, Joey, can we talk about this? Can this be part of the show? And he's like, no.
I said no.
He goes, no, no. And then he like prayed for us. So he did this like the Joey pray pose. And then
he did he needed to he took a breather.
but
into the
and then he
mic.
says, okay, we can do it.
Let's do it.
But what's it gonna look like? And I was like, I don't know. But here's what's interesting is it was a bit, to me, Joey, it was a big deal that you said, yes, we can talk about that thing.
Huge deal.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because it's about trust.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the lack of trust sometimes that is where you hear something one way and you forget. Somehow you get blinded by the Sith how much love there is. Like clearly Shay's not gonna hurt your ear. Plus you have earphones on. But like, Shay's like, what's up? But for real, you know what I mean? Like clearly. So you think to yourself and you go, okay, here's this thing that involves me. Okay, great. Well, what's Matt gonna probably do? Matt's gonna rip on himself like 98% of the time and barely bring me up, you know.
Yeah.
And the idea being, do I have faith? Do I trust that we can talk about something, you know, dark, bring it to light, and it can be something that helps people? Mm-hmm. So as soon as you said yes, my heart just sang. The weight was lifted up, and I was like, fine. I'm like, I can do a show without going there, but that's where I am right now.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I said it. The show's now different because I'm now changed based on the fact we walked out of the room and we come back in here. I have to teach what I now learned. And what I learned was I need to stop teasing people and understand the difference between game and not game. And like, I got to get better. So I want to talk about it, you know?
Yeah.
So thank you for saying yes. Thank you for trusting. Thank you for doing your prayer pose.
I did like this weird like bless up pose. That is like, it's like.
At least you didn't dab. Joey's like,
Oh, that would not
let me.
Oh
think
my
about
gosh, I have a video on Snapchat teaching your son Jack to dab when he was 2 and your wife wanted to kill me. It was so funny.
Why did she want to kill you?
Because she hated the dab. She thought it was so dumb.
And guess who loves it when my son does it now? My wife.
It's crazy.
You see, it's the trend thing. That's what I'm saying.
Dan and I are a lot alike.
But then, what I'm saying, the old you would have gotten mad at Leanne for liking it.
Yeah.
Instead of just sitting back and realizing, yep, that's another thing. And that's where the power comes from, you just being quiet and understanding that that's the case. It's like what I mentioned to you guys when my best man finished his speech that was so good, and then he ruined it at the end by going, beat that.
Bam.
And he was talking to the bridesmaid and making her feel bad. So anyway, we are now live, right? For sure.
Yeah.
We're live?
14 minutes.
Yay.
Although somehow we lost 2 viewers.
What? We lost 2 viewers?
They probably just, they
Yeah.
were trying so hard to watch, and they're like, and then that's probably what happened, I would imagine.
Is it Shay's mom?
I think it's my mom.
Here's the thing.
Your
It's-
mom, she's having a hard time staying connected. You know what? Let's give her.
We could
She's
call
probably
her.
watching on 3 devices.
should call her.
It's either your mom or my mom
Oh,
that
that's
is on
true.
there right now because
That's
there's
true.
one person on there.
Yeah,
That's fair.
that's very true.
Probably not my mom. Okay, so this show is about your. Does your team have your back? And who is your team? Your team is the people who surround you. And it's so important to choose the people that surround you. And I understand we all come from different families, different backgrounds, etc., but you can be very specific about the people who have influence over you. And you all know that I'm very picky, and
That's a yes.
you were and you were all picked, and we all picked each other to be a part of this thing, and we talked about it, we were honest about it, and we've said flat out, we are going to be the average of each other. So we have a responsibility to rise up as individuals for the greater good of the group.
Yeah.
And we all know, all of us know, that if any one of us stops growing for an extended period of time, we're no longer going to fit in the group. The group will love you, but the group's we're gonna grow beyond you.
My trends won't set anymore.
Yeah, if you stop setting trends, Joe, then what?
Yeah, then I guess I'm just
No
invaluable.
longer a trend.
I forget what happened in the fake show versus the real show. Did we talk about? We haven't talked about a Breves, have we?
No.
No,
Wow.
not in this.
Like
show.
that was
that was a
that's not
thing.
even. I don't even know if it's,
Let me just.
that's not even a thing anymore,
Let
right?
me just monologue to camera really quick. Let me just do it.
Okay.
I am so frustrated with the fact that the show did not go up this morning because it was so good. And then the worst part about it is, like, we have Shay here, and Shay and Brian went on this back and forth thing about abbreviations and how Shay started abbreviations, and then Brian hated them, and then Brian finally caved, and then
good. That's good, Joey. Let's take that back.
All right.
Okay, can we get the monologue again? Make sure that you know who you're talking to directly impact that person.
Sure. Hi, Mom. I know you're pretty much the only person that watches this live. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, I'm so frustrated that I did not go up this morning because the beginning of this show was so fire, and it went for about 5 minutes before I saw that the YouTube button was there. And
Joey, I'm going to interrupt your monologue, which is a great monologue.
Cool,
by the
do
way.
it. Cool, do it.
And I'm going to tell you the intro to the new show. The second one was more fire.
Yeah.
It was firer.
I mean, I do feel more awake. I feel less like a Sith.
Don't say it. Don't say anything about yawning.
gonna do it.
Nobody
I'm
say
not gonna do
anything
it.
about
Don't,
yawning.
because they seriously are contagious. Can I just bring darkness to light? Okay. So, interestingly enough, right? When you guys were having your powwow, your rah-rah out there, I was sitting here with Brian, and me and Brian were chit-chatting, and I kept looking at myself over in the live. And here's the thing. This is off topic, but not off topic, and it's not so you guys can compliment me and tell me how great I am. But
You look beautiful
probably
this
will.
morning.
You look
well,
so
so
okay,
good,
so
Shay.
You're
here's
glowing.
the deal.
You're such a pretty girl.
So
Shay, I told you looked pretty the second I saw you
did.
this
You
morning.
did. You did. So here's the deal. When I made this live the other day, I specifically put, and it's funny because I asked Joey. I said, "Hey, are you? Does it make you feel weird that I put myself as my face huge, my headshot huge on the thumbnail?" And he goes, "No, it doesn't bother me at all." And there was a specific reason why.
No,
I
we're
did
just
it.
trying. We're just trying to get more views.
Yeah.
We need
There
the
was
better looking
there
person.
was a specific reason.
We need the best
why
looking
I did it.
person up front.
And
right?
I put,
Am I right?
The
Poor
best
Joey.
looking one in the room.
Well, you guys are
Like, the
sweet.
least
Yeah.
in the room.
So Joey goes, "Man, you really got to change that picture." And I said, "Joey, it's the best one I have, and that's why I use it." So
Because it's the one she uses for Zoom with the yellow shirt
for
and
everything,
the lipstick. And
it's
I'm
a
like,
great picture of me.
It's a good picture, but you use it for everything. And
I
it's
do.
Old.
I do. But
know?
here's the reality of the situation, okay? I put that on there, and then I put this false reality in my head that I needed to look like that this morning, right? Because then people see the picture, and then they look at me, and I don't look like that. I don't look like that on a daily basis.
Shay, I'm gonna rock your freaking world,
But-
and you're gonna hate what I have to say.
Okay.
I think you look so much prettier now than in that photo. I swear to you.
Well,
Yeah.
I agree.
I
Agreed.
anytime I can tell makeup's on somebody, I
Right.
think that the picture's done wrong. The makeup artist should do such a good job that you don't know you're wearing makeup.
I agree.
You're gorgeous without makeup. So anytime you wear makeup, I'm like, oh, cool, she's wearing makeup.
Yeah.
But you're not prettier.
That's an interesting point of view because my husband would say the same thing. Thank God.
Hello. So like, listen.
But it's funny to me because in my head,
because it's girls and it's
100%.
and it's the makeup industry that are
100%.
telling you you're not pretty without the makeup.
Right.
And it's not true. It's a lie.
Right. So this morning I had this whole plan. I was going to get up, I was going to shower, I was going to curl my hair, I was going to do my makeup so that way I wasn't putting out this false narrative that that's what I look like on a daily basis, because the real fact of the matter, anybody who knows me and knows me well and loves this about me is that I got my hair on top of my head in a bun every day. I have made yoga pants a complete own separate clothing group and my daring jack or whatever, and I had this shirt on that I really wanted to wear today, and I specifically wore it today because it said be a nice human, and I really liked it, and I hated how it looked on camera. I hated how I looked, I hated the whole thing, and Brian was like, do you want to change? And I'm like, yeah, I really do. And I put my hair down and I did something else, and it just made me feel better. It made me feel better about how I looked on camera and how people would perceive me, which is so sad.
Well, no, here's the thing. I have no problem with you wanting to look your best on camera.
Right.
And my thought is, if you can look better, you should.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
if I'm sitting here and I can adjust the angle and I can
For
adjust
sure.
my jacket, like 100%.
We have that to our advantage.
Correct. And we've got nice lights and different things,
Yeah.
and like we might as well use them. I mean,
Right.
of course. Like that's of course. But let's go into, I mean, we really should just sit on this topic for the entire rest of the world. But again, this is my opinion. I think that when people you have this idea, I think, in your head that people love me in spite of the fact that I put my hair up and wear
Yeah.
yoga pants and all this
Yeah.
stuff. And I'm going to tell you, they see that and they go, damn, she's got her stuff together because she crushes and she's not trying too hard. So you have one perception and other people have a different perception.
Right.
I am, as you know, athleisure.
Yeah.
I mean, the same stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you where I got it from 3 places. I just decided from now on I'm not going to try so hard. I'm gonna have my image, my brand, my thing that I like, that I feel good in, I feel confident in, I feel comfortable. That's who I'm going to be. And I'm not going to apologize for it. And I got made fun of for a while. Like how come you're not wearing jeans every now and then?
Right.
And I'm like, I don't want to.
Right.
I'm done. You can make fun of me all you want. This is who I am. Well, here's where I got it from. Number 1, I walked into a business where I was going to be coaching a billionaire. And the billionaire was in pants just like the ones that I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Like just athleisure, laid
Yep.
back. He's a billionaire. He can wear anything he wants in the entire world. And he's just like, and then I go the next day, he's wearing the same thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why am I trying so hard? Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
I went on a trip with one of the most famous and successful clients we've had, Frank Caliendo.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere he goes, he's either in shorts or some sort of like, sweatpants or whatever. Even when he's going to be on camera,
Yeah.
he's got shorts on down here and like a polo
Yes.
up here, always. And why? Because he's not trying too hard.
Right.
He's not trying to impress anybody else. It's not about them. That's the thing. That's what's interesting. And I looked at him and we were traveling together. And here's again a guy who's a millionaire who could do anything, and he's flying coach. Mm-hmm. All of his stuff, all of it was in a backpack. There was no suitcase. Mm-hmm. I had a suitcase. So he got in the express lane. He walked right on the plane.
Yeah.
And then he's waiting for me to wait for my bag.
Wow.
And he's the millionaire.
Right.
And I'm the one coaching the millionaire, and I need more stuff than he does.
Right.
It's his gig, not mine. I'm going, my priorities are off. And I started thinking to myself, if I can travel lighter, I should. If I can dress minimally, I should. Then the third thing was, I found out that most of the like highest level successful people, like Zuckerberg and some of these guys, they wear pretty much the same thing every day like I do. And the reason they do it is because you are only given so many decisions in your day before you lose your willpower.
Yeah.
So like so what they've decided was, this is not a decision I'm going to waste in the morning, because you sit there in your closet, you stare at the clothes, you don't know what you're going to wear, and that critical decision is you've wasted one of your decisions for the day.
Yeah.
Versus now I just roll out of bed, I got my clothes folded, I know what they are, I put them on, I feel good, I walk out, and I'm not worried about it. It's like, I don't care if you saw me in that yesterday, like that's what I wear, that's who I am. So that's why I do it, and I've done it now for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden people don't question it. And then all of a sudden I'm seeing what I wear. I saw it in the last year, like it's all over Target and all over like the different places, but it wasn't.
Right.
And it'll go away. It won't be a fad forever. And then it will come back, and I'll still just be in this unless I decide to change to something else.
Right.
But then that will be my thing. You know, I'm just like staying there for a minute.
For me, it's like changing, and my decision is like, do I wear Cardinals or ASU today?
Yeah, but even you, Joey, like you have grown up in your style, and I remember telling you that and feeling bad that I had said that one day, but it was coming from this place of like, no, like you're a man now, like you can, you know, your hair is brushed and things like that.
Well,
and it was the same thing.
Not today.
No, I told you it.
Yeah, but
today.
it's more. Here's the thing. You're right, and it was in the clothing, but it was more in like the way he was.
The attitude.
Yes, he was in the clothing.
Yeah, you just grew. You grew up, and your style grew up with you. And like I remember when my husband got his first big boy job, we didn't have
Big boy job.
That's what I call it.
Yeah.
We didn't have, and he was young. He was 21. And we didn't have business casual. First of all, we didn't have the money to go buy anything, but we did, and we went and picked him out, you know, the same polos and nice button downs and whatever, which isn't him. Mm-hmm. And his style has evolved. And if anybody knows him, he wears shirts with like donuts on them, and
he's
that's
so
his
handsome
thing.
though.
He is. But his style has grown up, because I told him, I said, here's the deal, you can't wear jimmies, which we call, you know, gym shorts. You can't wear jimmies and your t-shirts. Like you have to present a certain type of look, because we were 20 and didn't know what you were supposed to do, and business casual, whatever.
and he's going to an office.
Yeah, 100%.
And he's a particular there is a line you have to draw.
Yeah.
You know, like I wouldn't go to the billionaire Nick Steva's place to go coach them, and I wouldn't show up in gym shorts.
Right.
Actually.
Right.
I would try to, I got athleisure stuff that did fit, like, so I wouldn't go. There is a line where you go, I just
100%.
don't care at all about you guys.
100%.
And it's not about not caring. It's
Yeah.
about, I've already made this pre-decision. I don't actually care what you think of me, but I'm not trying to impress you. That's the difference.
Right. Well, and it's not like it changes. Like I think about my day-to-day work, and like, you know, there's days I have a very hidden talent where I can, like this morning, my alarm went off at 6, and it was supposed to go off
you
at
serious?
4:45.
Your alarm went up at 6?
Yeah.
Dang. You
Yeah.
beat me here.
Well, I was supposed to get up at 4:45, so I'd get in the shower and curl my hair, right, and all these things. So I'm pissed. It's 6 o'clock. I'm like, gosh dang it. And I wake up, and I was in my car by 6:06.
Dang.
Like ready to go. You know, I mean, hair up, whatever.
Wow.
And
I'm impressed.
And
Yeah,
I have a talent of doing that. And I grab my makeup bag, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it on the highway. Which
not
darkness
that
to
one.
light, I had a really bad habit of doing that. I could do a full face on the highway.
But your team that
Which is
loves you,
horrible.
does your team have your back? We do, and we have now
Of course.
over and over and over again made
Yeah.
her swear she wouldn't do this anymore.
No, and
swear.
I have really, I mean, it's horrible. And my mother is watching this, and she's rolling her eyes right now, because she's asked me, my husband has asked me, Shay, you can't do that because of safety, and I know that. But in my head, I was like, I can do this, and I'm doing mascara while I'm on the 51.
Not today.
Like,
You
no.
were you doing it today?
No, not doing that.
She was.
She was.
No.
Dude, no,
But
You're gonna
that
bring
was
out
my
the Sith
plan.
in Joey, I
But that
promise
was
you.
my plan. I was like, okay, I'll do it when I get there, whatever.
Bad
And then I got here, and it just didn't matter. It's not going to make me work harder. It's not going to make me be any better at my job. You guys would never in a million years be like, gee, you couldn't have put some makeup on today. First of all, I don't think you would ever cross that line.
So
Plus, much like your husband and anybody who actually knows what good looks are, we prefer you without it. That's the crazy. Shay, you have no idea. It took me like 4 years to talk my wife into not
Right.
doing that, and she would spend an hour and a half when we didn't have kids putting on her makeup, and she fully thought it was a good use of time. And I'm like, babe, okay, but who are you trying to impress?
Right.
Because unfortunately I'm telling you that the man that you're supposed to be impressing doesn't like it.
Right.
I think it makes you less pretty. So go ahead and do that, but you just so you know how that makes me feel.
Yeah.
Not very valued.
Yeah. That's
She
really
didn't care.
interesting.
She still couldn't get over it. She finally is over it now, and she's embraced the same idea of this. Like, she's like, I am who I am. I am this like powerful mother who can put her hair up and can go. And she now, the thing that used to take her an hour and a half takes like 5-10 minutes maybe.
Yep.
And it's minimalistic. And I mean, I think she looks beautiful always. I always thought that, but it's like, it's so much more attractive to me.
Yeah.
And then she would say things like, she would talk about other women and be like, oh, she's so beautiful, and she didn't even do her makeup. I'm like, no, she's so beautiful because she didn't do her makeup. That's why.
But
Stop it.
As a woman, here's the deal. Like, I love makeup. I do. I like the beauty industry. I love the fashion industry. There's so much fun that everybody, it doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man or whatever you identify as, but there's so much fun to be had in your own personal style. But what I'm saying is that that's up to you. And I just made the decision probably a year ago that I was like, this just doesn't matter to me anymore. And nobody cares. But then there's days like today where I was like, I got to look like that picture, man.
Well, and then I love the idea that it's for fun. Sorry, go ahead. What was it?
Well, I'll jump on that. So go ahead.
So I was thinking, like, when it's for fun, when you understand what it is, that it's a
100%.
tool.
Yeah.
I love makeup. I think it's awesome, like super cool. Like Leanne was showing me this one friend of hers who's literally been doing full body suits. During quarantine, and you cannot tell it's not clothes. Like, you can look as close as you want at any part of the body. It's clothing, and you're like, what?
It's
like,
an art
unbelievable.
Form. It's an absolute art form.
And she's like, and she's been doing this to share with people, to impact people, but she shows the process. She shows herself before she puts the makeup on and while she's putting the makeup on, and like, she's not trying to say, this is who I am always. She's going like, this is something fun I'm doing today. So I think, like, awesome, like, you put on like 10x your makeup and do like big ol' something crazy with like, and do that, and you're like, this is fun look today, funny,
absolutely
good, right? Whatever. Or I'm glam something, but then you're like, you're bringing attention to it, not trying to pretend like you wake up that way.
Right, 100%.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I feel that, like, because I love dressing up too.
Yeah,
like,
you
and
do.
for a bit, that was my.
Brian
form.
was a lot of makeup.
Makeup is well, makeup's the girl version, right?
Right.
But like, I love like I love dress shirt and like jeans, and like I'd be all about that. Well, practicality, okay? With my brace, it takes me like 15 minutes at least to get jeans on, like with the brace and stuff. And usually, like, you gotta work it around it, and like, and it's hard. It's like hard. And then it would take me a while to change into the shirt too, with the buttons and my fingers. Like,
oh my gosh!
Literally, it takes a while. Okay.
No.
It takes a while.
No. I did the buttons.
I did the buttons too. Shay did the buttons.
Oh no, there's buttons you can't do. I can't do these buttons. Like, literally just can't. And this top one I couldn't do.
Yeah. So
like,
go ahead. Keep going.
I'd have to ask. So, but I would do it every day because I liked the way it looked. But mainly I liked the way it was perceived. Like, I liked it.
the attention.
And Joey helped me with that. Joey was like, you just gotta embrace the sweatpants, bro.
Yes.
Like, because everybody else is doing it.
But it's also
like,
you were also like, I like the idea though, what it was perceived. You don't know how it was perceived.
it's just how
you
I
just
felt it was.
assumed that people were going to think you were better or more
Right.
powerful or more
Right.
successful if you were wearing a certain thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like, that was it. And then when you let go of that, you're going, okay, let me embrace me and who I am, and whether it be sweatpants or it could be anything, honestly.
Right.
But as long as you're not doing it for that other purpose, I think that's
Right.
the answer, right?
100%. You have
Yeah.
to figure out what you're doing it for, and when it becomes not fun, then that's where it became for me. It was like, it was not fun anymore, and it was something I had to do because I felt like people expected me to do it because I'm a woman and I should put makeup on and make myself presentable. And I remember the first time I came in without makeup on, and I probably, I don't know, I overslept or just didn't decide to, I would come in after a workout, not showered, and nobody cared. Nobody said anything. I just got to work, and that was the most important thing, was that I got my stuff done. And that was like mind blowing to me that nobody said anything. Like, man, Shay looked really bad today. Like, and that's what I was expecting. And that's sad that I was expecting that or was worried that.
But it's not your fault. The world has trained you for this.
For sure.
And we are untraining ourselves and trying to help untrain the world on this way of thinking.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you, for me personally, and this was another thing Joey and I talked about over in the other, did you just hide a yawn?
What? No.
Oh, I thought he was like, it'd be okay if you did, by the way.
No, I know.
Because then we would talk about it. Shay would flick your ear, and it would be a whole thing. Okay.
Yeah.
We would all yawn because they're
Sith
contagious.
Lord's out. Okay. So, no, what I was going to say is, to me, your most attractive self is when you said, I slept in, and when you said, I was so mad at me. Mm-hmm. Because I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I get mad at me when I, and it doesn't matter if it's 6 or 4 or 3 or whatever. I told myself I was going to do something,
Exactly.
and I didn't live up to my own standard.
Yeah.
Okay. I relate to that. When you say that from honesty, from sincerity, from truth, I find it very attractive. The camera finds it very attractive. That's what's interesting.
Yeah.
But you covering up, if you had covered up the fact that you woke up a little late,
Yeah.
right, and then and you splashed on a ton of makeup and this and that, and you showed up, let's say 20 minutes later than you did, and we started the show a little bit late,
Right.
and then you were like, hey guys, just traffic was bad.
Yeah.
Because people do that.
Yeah.
People do that a lot. I mean, matter of fact, our team might have done that type of thing in
Yeah.
the past, and that's unattractive.
Well, 100%.
Because you feel this weird energy, and it just feels weird.
Yes.
But the truth is so attractive when you just go into it and be like, yep.
Can we talk about, without going into too much detail, the text I sent you all yesterday morning?
No, he yawned. He did it. He did it. He did it. Oh.
I saw it. I thought I saw it coming earlier. I think I did see it coming.
Matt actually, because we talked about the Sith stuff, he tapped into his Jedi powers,
Yeah.
and so he was actually seeing the future.
At least you got it out of the way. That's all that matters.
It was like,
and
yawn.
at least Joey got mad at himself. Everyone thought somebody died there for a second.
No, I thought you were reacting to her text.
Me too.
Yeah,
I was
Shay
like,
and I were
"God,
actually.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Shay-
I don't want to do it in the text. It was so bad.
So yes, you can talk about the text, and
Flick Joey's ear, please.
yeah, that's right.
I said now.
I was expecting the ear.
You should have said yes to the ear, bro, because you said no. It became a neck.
became a neck
Honestly, I
thing.
was more worried about my finger.
I was that okay.
I was being totally selfish.
I'm gonna
I
be
knew that
real.
was gonna hurt.
I was very excited because I knew that
it
this
made
was
a
gonna
mark.
protect me.
Holy moly. There's
And
a
then
big old
she
red
hit
mark.
She
my
made a
neck.
mark.
She made
There's
a
a big old red
Oh
mark.
my
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. No wonder he was scared.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well,
But here's
What
okay.
do we
Before
got?
we get to
Sorry.
your text,
Yes.
Before we get to your text, I'm gonna attack Joey here really quick, in a positive way. This becomes a good thing. Okay, watch this. Brian finally realized how much he didn't pay attention and wasn't a good listener and was like zoning out.
Yeah.
He finally realized it. It was during the Lonesome West, and I did my thing, my jokey thing, where I was like, grab a rubber band, Brian, and I flicked him. And I did it like light, like that. This is how I knew Brian actually wanted to change. He put the rubber band on. He doubled it up, and he said, guys, flick me, and I actually want you to flick me hard. I want to remember. I don't want to keep doing this thing.
yeah.
And it's like, it was a silly trick, a silly little like reminder, but it's sort of like shock therapy. Like you're going, you know what? Doesn't hurt. This isn't a thing, but let me be honest about it and stop trying to cover it up. And then it's so funny. He'd be zoning out, and none of us would know because only you really know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're connecting, and if he didn't get caught, like honestly, like we're in mid conversation, and all of a sudden I'd hear this, ow, and he'd flick himself, and it was like cool. And that was the beginning of his like, transformation in that area. Was he was like, I'm deciding I want to do this thing.
Yeah.
And for everything in our lives that is that way, the quicker we can go, hey, this is what it is. Let me say it out loud. Let me talk about it, and let me I'm not afraid to be held accountable.
Yeah.
By whatever means, you know. So a flick is a funny thing, but just like I don't want you to not say it to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to cover it up. I want you to bring it up. Like, please tell me, because I agree with you. That's something that I don't love about me. Let me make it better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Shay, the
Which
text.
brings us into that.
The text.
It's a great transition.
Big text.
So I
Shay's a big text
was
girl.
on my way yesterday, and I immediately sent the team a text. I was on my way. I was having a rough morning. I was in a rough mood, not for anybody but myself. And I knew that. And this all goes back to what we've been talking about forever, which is, hey, if you're having a rough day, if something's going on, if you're upset, even if you don't want to talk, just let us know, so that way we know how to speak with you and know how to not handle you.
Dark to light. I didn't know what text, but
okay.
I just had trust.
Right.
That is a great text, by
Right.
the way. I told my wife about that text, and I was like, "This is how baller our team is." Okay,
Right.
go ahead.
And you know, I'm the only girl on the team, and you know, it can be hard to kind of just be open about certain things, but we're very lucky to have a very open and trusting and fun relationship as employees and as coworkers. And you know, so what would have been weird 2 years ago is very not weird anymore, because I know they love me. And I sent him a text message, and I was like, here's where I'm at today. I'm in a mood. I'm on my way. I'm not feeling good. I know this is the start of it not feeling good. So it's not going to go away today. This is not a one-day thing. This is where I'm at. You know, and if I have a break, I said, as a joke, but I said, if I randomly cry today, you'll know why. And, you know, they all responded with love, and they were all cool about it, because I know that when I get in these types of spaces, that I can spark, or I have a quick tongue. And that's something I know from both my husband, my mom. Like, I know I get that way, and it really bothers me, because it's nobody's fault, but there's also nothing I can do about it. Mm-hmm. So I have to take that and know that it's something that happens with me, but I need to be responsible for how I treat people during that time. But if I can let them know ahead of time, I'm not feeling good, this is where I'm at, just love me today, because I need it. And that was part of what was funny was so that was yesterday. But then on Thursday, when it had started, Matt called a little State of the Union meeting, and he was feeling down, and he can talk about the way that he was feeling. But it's just spiraled this week. Like, there's been so much this week that has happened that we've all just kind of been like, hey, this is what's going on. This is where I'm at. Need to talk about it. And then it just makes it so much easier to go, okay, bing, bang, boom, we're ready to go.
Bing, bang,
Yeah.
boom.
I don't know. I thought that would hit.
It was great. It
Bing,
was
bang,
awesome.
boom, everybody.
So I sat everyone down, and I was like, bum, 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 bum. Oh, wait, that's the graduation song.
yeah,
Yeah, I was
What's
like, wait, that's
what's the Hail to the Chief one? How does that
that's
No,
also
that-
the graduation
that's the
song.
graduation
No. I was seeing that for myself.
Oh.
All right, so I graduated apparently. No, I wanted to do the Hail to the Chief. I don't remember how it goes. Okay, so we set everyone down for the State of the Union, and Shay's right. I was feeling all the feels.
All the feels.
So this is what this show is supposed to be about an hour ago. Is does your team have your back? So if you kept listening, good for you. You get the whole message that we were trying to deliver.
Hi, Mom.
Only one of us can say that. There are two of us. Three of us.
Two
No,
of us.
I feel really bad.
Shout out,
It's
CD.
a
Shout out.
majority vote thing.
Okay, so I'm feeling all the feels, and I basically just said, "Hey, these are all my fears. Blah blah blah. Here's what I'm feeling," and I believe in doing this. By the way, tell people exactly how you want them to respond when you're in a state. So that's what you did, Shay. You were on your way in to work. You were in a state.
Yeah.
And you said, here's what I am. Here's what might happen. And essentially what you said was I would really appreciate, you didn't say it, but it was under there, if you gave me grace for anything I say or do because I'm feeling this way. Right? And so with you guys, I said, I want you to tell me I'm doing a good job. Because I knew that to be true, but I just was like, I want to hear it.
Yeah.
I want to hear.
100%.
I'm feeling weak, and I want verbal affirmation. And
Yeah.
literally, that's what I said to you guys. And then I said, please don't try to solve the problem right now.
Yeah.
Because sometimes solving the problem is not what anybody wants.
Yeah.
They just want to be heard, and they want to know that
Validated.
we are, that everyone's on the same page, everyone understands it, and that we are working toward a solution.
Yep.
I know, I saw it. So what the idea was like, hey, let's generate different ideas, more ideas for the studio. Because why? Because round 2 of COVID was coming.
Yeah.
And that
Round
stinks.
2.
Like, it's like we dealt with round 1. We felt like, oh, it was so hard, but we kind of got through it. And now it's like and then it's like, oh, by the way, it's worse. And Sith Lord comes out.
Feels a lot like round 20.
We weathered the storm,
Right.
not knowing that there was a bigger storm.
Yeah. And so what I've realized now
In our tiny boat.
from having like gone through this like 3-day little ordeal of my own freak out is I'm going, okay, dude, you do this for a living. Imagine how the rest of the world feels.
Yeah.
You got to double down on your loving and your giving. You got to.
Yeah.
Because if it's scary for us, it's scary for everybody, you know, and we're not going out of business. A lot of people are going out of business. How do we love them? How do we support them? How do we help them? You know, that's really where our minds have got to be right now. So anyway, did this whole thing, and then Shay delivered the speech,
The State of the Union.
and it was amazing. Like, the first thing she said was, she goes, remember your why, remember our why. We're doing the thing. We are helping people.
And the worst part was she went first, like a real jerk with that. So Brian and I were just sitting there like, well, and then so literally I just said what she said.
which, by the way, good for you.
Yeah.
That's a quick lesson for everybody. Don't just say something to say it. If somebody already said it well and they said what you had to say, just say what Joey said. Like, hey, I agree with Shay. That was very well said.
Yeah.
Give her the compliment. She deserves it. Sometimes what happens is people will end up repeating what the person said right before them in just slightly different words, and it's like, okay,
That didn't hit as
if you
well
don't,
as
if you
the
don't
first
have
time.
anything to add, that's fine. Like,
Right.
you just say, okay.
Well, and
good job.
I want to
that
talk
was
about
a really, really great video. You just fed me there, so thank you for that.
Oh,
for
really?
Brian.
That was a beautiful soundbite.
Was it a good one?
Yeah.
What are
it
you
was
doing?
Right at about
Oh.
I said
48
it before I did
seconds.
it.
Contagious.
I
It
said
was
it before I did it.
right about 48-second range. It was like very passionate.
Oh, nice.
It was nice and quick. It have context. Like it's gonna be on Instagram.
So I'm gonna talk about one more thing too, because what did I do? Honestly, I feel like I sat down and I said, I trust you guys. I trust you with my fears. I trust you with my insecurities. So please let me lay it on the table. Let's go. Joey trusted me this morning. It took him a second, but he did, and he said, okay, I trust. Let's go, right? And then he's going, I don't know how this is gonna happen. Brian clenched up but trusted when I was like, let's talk about Brian. so you trusted us with your text. There was something I think, again, just profound about this moment, and this is guy girl thing and trust and all this. Sometimes you don't realize how important you are to somebody else. Like Joey and I had this moment the other night when I failed miserably, so it was totally my fault. But beyond that, I brought something up as a we thing to get better as a team. I was like, hey, we gotta do better in this area. And he took it as an offense to him because he was upset at something else I said, which he should have been upset about, but I didn't know. So there we go. But he got upset, and he didn't realize that there's a CEO sitting next to you talking about something that's a big level issue and wanting to brainstorm with you. He went, oh, woe is me. Oh, sadness or whatever. And then we got through it very quickly, but that was a thing. So I noticed this moment this morning, Shay, and I'm just gonna bring this up. I don't think you'll care, but we were talking about your shirt earlier.
Yeah.
And it was a white shirt, and you were afraid that it would be see-through.
Yeah.
And this is Joey. This is to you. Who did she trust?
Me.
She goes, hey, Joey,
Yeah.
I know this is weird, but can you please make sure that there's nothing see-through?
Yeah.
And it like was funny because you say like, hey, look, and then I'm like, oh yeah, not me. but you're not like you don't even think until you register the information, and then I'm like, okay, cool. And then Joey's like, no. And then I was thinking to myself, I'm sitting here thinking, going, how can he say no that he can't see through?
Yeah.
He has to look and try to see through
Yeah.
to tell you that it does,
Yeah.
and that's like an immense amount of trust
For sure.
and love and connection and being like, hey, I feel zero weirdness with you as a human being.
Yeah.
and so much faith and trust in you that like that wouldn't bother me if it was see-through, because you would tell me it's see-through and then I would cover it
I
up
would
or whatever.
go change and it would be fine.
Because Joey wouldn't be like,
no, I don't know how to tell you this. But,
yeah.
You know, well, and that's just part of. It's funny because I looked at the camera and I was like, I've never worn this shirt before. We're on camera for the first time. There's a lot of lights. I have very pale skin. And in my head, I was like, well, Joey will tell me if I look bad, you know, so I might as well just ask him. And
he already told me to change the picture out.
You know, and I'm thinking, and all these things are going through my head. And it just comes back to just being very honest. And I think it's changed how I respond to people, how I talk to people. And going back to our conversation on Wednesday, what was so funny when we sat down and had this State of the Union, right, is when you called this meeting, I was like so in it and in the zone, and I'm like, gosh dang it, I really really don't want to be out of the zone right now. Anyway, we go sit down, we have this meeting, and what was funny was my brain was going, okay, so all of what Matt is saying, I need to give him a perspective from the outside, because everything that's talking right now is fear and none of it is real. His feelings are real, so validate his feelings, but tell him what the truth is, because he's just being he for some reason his mind is not letting him see the truth. So I'm going to tell him the truth. This is the truth. This is what's going on. Let's get back to work.
Yeah.
And that's the mind that I had, because it was funny because I could have sat there and fed your ego. And it was more so that I wanted, this is literally what I said is the truth of the situation. And I had so much faith in what I was saying, and so much faith that God takes care of people who takes care of other people. Yeah. And you just needed to hear that for a second. And then it was like, bing, bang, boom.
And it's
bing,
okay.
bang,
back to work.
It's okay for me to be weak.
100%.
Yeah.
And I tell people this all the time. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind saying I'm weak.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I believe the quicker I can say I'm weak, the stronger I become.
Right.
Because then I don't have to sit in weakness for a long time trying to hide it.
Yeah.
So that's like, if I'm feeling the feels, I'm like, let's have a meeting and talk about how weak I am.
But that meeting turned into 10 minutes, which used to be 4 hours.
Correct.
And we would sit there and go through everything. And it was because we've built that level of trust. It was, okay, Matt, I'm going to tell you the facts that you can't see in this moment right now. And then we're going to go get back to changing people's lives.
Well, and what's the best thing to do when you're in the middle of fear is take action.
Yeah.
Is get back to work. Mm-hmm. And whatever your work is, you know, your work might be connecting with your kids or loving your husband or whatever it is. But when you're afraid, the best thing you can do is go back to work on that thing.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if you guys even know this, but immediately Matt got up and he was totally in a different mood. And I felt so good about myself. You gave me this cool gift of helping you, because I was like, I turned his whole day around.
Yeah.
Like, I really felt like I was like, man, what I said really had a cool impact. And your whole energy was different. The way you were speaking was different. And I was like, man, Shay, like, you really said the right thing. That's great. Yeah. You know, I was like, that's really cool, because I knew he was not feeling great. And I feel like we really helped him. And then the first thing that Matt did. Matt went out and got me a gift, and he got me a card with my name on it and wrote me a very nice note. And that's the very first thing he did, was thank me for helping. And it was like, how do you just not do that? And it's amazing. And it just changed the whole day. And the fact that you said thank you, and you showed kindness.
And some people want to take credit for their own stuff instead of giving credit as quickly as possible. Give credit, and yes, say thank you. Say I'm sorry. Say I'm weak. Like, admit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
We also received gifts because of your great speech, which was great.
Good.
It was so good.
Good.
The speech was so good that it was a 3-gift speech.
And the gifts happened to be something that you can't get, and I still don't know how we got it. But Matthew Deering, I'm taking this really slow because like I feel like it's a build.
You're really
Matthew
drawing it out.
Deering somehow, in the midst of a pandemic, found not one but 2 Xbox controllers.
No way.
Yeah, it's like you can't. I went on Amazon. You can't get anything for a month.
Amazon.
Oh,
Like,
nothing.
It's ridiculous.
I know.
I
I've been
know.
trying to get new controllers.
That's pretty wild.
Now it did cross my mind, by the way. I'm like, I hope I'm not biting myself here.
Right.
Because I'm giving you the gift
My
that
employees.
keeps taking away from your work. But actually,
That's funny.
the scary thing is, why can't you get a controller?
Because everybody and their mother is playing video games right now,
Which is scary.
24/7.
Which
It's
is
super
scary.
Yeah, yeah.
People who didn't used to play video games all of a sudden want a controller.
Yep.
And this is the because there's nothing wrong with video games as long as you are honest with yourself about certain stuff. But this is the evil of video games. The same way there's an evil in just about anything. Yesterday, I was like dealing with something else, and it sounds like I'm always dealing with something, which I am. I'm dealing with something else, and I was feeling more feels yesterday. And I took a deep breath, and I almost went over to the room you were working in. Brian was being productive. I almost said, "Hey, will you take me to your house so we can play a video game together?" Because I knew that it was going to make me feel better.
Yeah.
But then I checked myself and I go, what are you doing? You're giving yourself a dopamine shot from a video game, and you're programming your mind to say that when you feel bad, this makes you feel good. Therefore, you're activating the addiction. Don't do that thing. And the only reason I wanted to, because there's got a new remote, and I'm like, it's fun to play with.
Yeah.
But I had to be careful and separate that from the feeling. It was very important that I did that, and I stopped and I meditated instead, and then I resolved the issue.
Yeah.
And resolving the issue and getting back to work is actually what made me feel better long term.
Yeah.
But it took longer. It took an extra 15, 20 minutes versus the dopamine shot that happens immediately. I would have felt better, but then there would have been a big crash long term.
It's basically like Red Bull, right?
And
Gentlemen?
I mean,
It's like any quick fix.
whoa.
Because honestly, let's talk about Red Bull. That's very not good for you, right?
Terrible.
But
Very
but like anything else, there's a lot of things not good for you.
Absolutely.
So-
and I need
so-
to shut my mouth.
So here's the
because-
thing: if you don't drink
I can't
alcohol and you
judge.
don't drink this and you don't drink that and you have a Red Bull every now and then, no problem.
Right.
But if you try to tell yourself Red Bull's good for me,
Right.
then you're lying to yourself.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
so
Right.
for me, I'm like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
Just be honest with yourself and be aware and all that stuff. Like that's cool because everything has its own like twist, right?
Yeah.
I love your
Twist
honesty
and
in that kind of
shout,
thing. So
twist
like
and
there
shout.
Scotty was helping me with some like health stuff a few weeks ago, and I was doing those shakes, right? And so I was doing that, and then I've gone like, do you want to like have some of these? I could like make some for you. And you're like, honestly, no. And you were eating something. I can't remember what it was. And you're like, I'm eating this. It's bad for me, and I know it.
Yeah.
And I'm just not ready to not eat it.
Yeah.
And what's cool is yesterday you made a decision to not do, like the
You made-
decision.
Two days ago. 2 days ago. Yeah.
Excuse me, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Decision on the air to not do that anymore. To like straight up, I'm done with that. And look at that right there.
And we
Yeah.
all ate jicama this
we
morning.
We did. No
And
Eggo peanut
Shay
butter
talked
waffles.
about how she can't eat a carrot without crunching super
man.
loud. And
I'll have
it
a
became-
jicama as well.
Yeah,
Sounds great.
yeah.
No,
Hey,
That's funny.
yo,
But I just had to give it to Shay really quick because she hadn't had one yet.
No.
And I wanted to make sure that you were being accurate as far as everyone's
Fair.
had one.
gotcha.
The audience does not want to hear us all munching. I promise you that.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, you're right.
So it's just something like when you say it, it's just like there's you give power
And then
to where
and
you're
then what's
at,
the
and
and then there's the impact that we have on each other. Period. It's just the truth. That's the whole idea of us rising up together. No one's forcing anyone to do anything. But like Joey said, now we've all had a carrot or a jicama stick or whatever, and it's like, like that's the new cool thing. Like
Right.
all the cool kids at Deering are doing it, and we will become healthier together. And you started the trend. I just wasn't ready yet. And I was honest about it. But the truth underneath, I didn't rag on you for it. Underneath,
not at all.
Underneath,
Not at all.
I was like, good for you. I want to get on your level there.
Yeah.
I need a minute to mentally get there. I'm not going to try to do it and be fake about it and do it like halfway. I'm going to go, okay, when I'm ready to make the decision, I'm going to make the decision. But thank you for initiating that.
Yep.
Because you're setting the tone. You are setting the example for what I know is best for me. And as soon as I'm ready, I'm going to jump ship, and then I'm going to pull you in and say, teach me, help me, because you're further along than I am, and I appreciate it, What were you going to say, Joey?
I was gonna say I just think it's funny, and this is totally like not a big thing, and I probably would have had the same reaction as you, but I've never been offered a smoothie from Brian.
not
wanted to
true.
throw that out there.
Actually, I made you one once, and you're like, "This is terrible," Do you
When
remember?
was it? No, I honestly don't remember.
The first time I made one, and to be frank, it probably was, okay? So first time I made one, it was...
Are we? Did we go off live?
No, not off live. Just the
Lost the HDMI.
No
yeah.
signal.
I think we need to wrap the show.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Let's wrap the show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This has been Mornings with Matt. This is the very special Shay Saturday edition.
Saturdays with Shay.
Saturdays with Shay.
now
she has no
you
idea
show
what
up.
she's got herself into now.
It's probably gonna be Fridays. It's probably gonna be Fridays.
She's like,
Shay.
I'm not committing to that.
I'm gonna commit to the
Here's
week.
the thing.
She did commit
She-
to Fridays.
she
Today's
already-
I did.
Today's a substitute.
So
for
Saturdays with Shay, every Saturday with Shay Topol.
Here's the thing. I'm really good at alliteration. I came up with that. She told me that's not happening. Then I just said it live.
and then the world adjusted, and
We
here we
spoke
are.
it
It's a
into
Saturday,
existence.
and here's Shay.
And here I am.
Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel. It means a lot to us. God bless.
Thanks for listening to Mornings with Matt. Please like, subscribe, and follow us at Deering Acting Studio to keep up with the latest content. For more information on classes, private lessons, or professional development coaching, visit www.deeringstudio.com. Have a Deering day, everyone.